Hello friend, welcome to all of you. We are looking here the chapter number 3, paying banker. In the previous lecture we see the duties and rights of paying banker and meaning of paying banker. And today now we discuss on the another point, the 3.3 is statutory protection to paying banker whenever they issue or pay the check behalf of their customer. So paying banker, what is meant by paying banker? Paying banker is a banker on whom the check is drawn should be paid the check when it is presented for the payment. So payment banker means the drawing bank who pay the check in behalf of their customer. So paying banker is one who drawing bank who pay the check of his customer. So there is the obligation and duty of the paying banker to honor the customer checks, and simultaneously also their need to take a proper care, precaution and the presence of mind used for their business, because whenever they dishonor of the negotiable instrument, any loss of the credit of customer, any damage, he can claim on the compensation for the bank. And whenever he make mistake to payment of the customers, that time there is also the protection need to the banking company. So negotiable instrument act given some protection to paying banker whenever they pay the customer checks, and this is the discussed in this lecture. So the banker has to honor the customer check is their duty and obligation, hence cannot make the detailed inquiry about the person who present the check, but he duty on the honoring of the customer check. He has to make the payment to the right person according to instruction of his customer. So he follow the instruction of his customer. The payment to the wrong person will be result in loss of the banker because of the customer claim for the compensation. In the view of the minimize the loss of the bankers, the Negotiable Instrument Act 1881 provide some necessary statutory protection to the paying banker. The section 85 of the Act offers the statutory protection to the banker in the case of order check. That provides the protection to the banker against the fraud endorsement on and the order. The check on the behalf of the payee, section 16 also provide the protection in the respect of case of forgery and subsequent the endorsement. So two contain must be fulfilled the enjoy the protection. So statutory protection is available to banks under the Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. Protection to paying banker, the against the bearer check, the paying banker need not verify the regularity of the endorsement or bearer check, but the payment must be payment in due course. If a check is stolen and the banker make a payment for it without the knowledge of such, the will discharge from the obligation and protect these under section 55. And so it is the necessary protection against the bearer check when the paying banker need not verify the regularity of the endorsement or the bearer checks, but the payment must be payment in due course. If the check is stolen by anybody, that time there is the protection given to the bank under section 55. Next is the protection against the cross check, general crossing or special crossing. Where the check is crossed generally, the banker on whom it is drawn shall not pay it otherwise than to a banker. The banker who failed to make a payment in accordance with the direction of found the crossing of the check will not be titled the debit of his customer account of amount such check. So bank follow the instruction of the endorsement and the crossing. The paying banker is the discharge of his obligation in the case of the cross check irrespective of the fact of the payment received by the collective bankers behalf the person of their true owners. So there are the protection available to bank against the bearer check, against the cross check also. The next is the protection with regard of the drafts. Drafts are not a check. The section 85 provide that where the draft that is an order to pay money drawn by the one office the bank for a sum of pay to order on demand the purport to the endorser by or on behalf of the payee the discharge the payment in due course. So there is a protection available to bank in regard of the draft, because the draft is not a check. The customer's signatures, the following certain things is important to verify the signature of the customer. The paying bank must satisfy himself that the check is really an order of his customers, because he is bound to pay out customer money only within his authority. The check bear the signature of his customer or the customer's agent duly authorized for the purpose. Sometimes the customer is the giving money or the check to his authorized agent or the office employee. That time the bank can check whether he is the authorized agent or the authorized person who received the money. The signature on the check is the genuine. Bank can check the specimen signature of the customer and matching with their specimen which is available in the bank. In the case of joint account, in the absence of clear instruction to the operation of the account from each of the parties, the concern of the bank should safeguard himself. Insisting upon the check being signed by all parties to the account, because there is need the resolution to given when the two or many account holders for the particular account. That time bank can demand the all parties sign on the check for protection for their check and pay. Again, certain things is important: the customer signature. The customer and the forward signature, the bank must know the signature of his customer and authorized agent. If any doubt, he should never honor the check on which the drawers of the signature differ from the specimen signature supplied to him. So bank can refuse the payment whenever the specimen signature is not matched. But when the customer is informed to the bank the change in his specimen signature, that time bank honor the check. The customer subsequent negligence, it is the duty of the banker to the report to his customer if the check is carrying a false signature is presented. The duty on the bank that time the inform to their customer the false signature is presented. Likewise, the customer has the corresponding duty to inform his bank he come to know that check are being presented to his banker is the signature is the fraud. If the customer know his signature is fraud and check is presented and he not informed to the bank, that time bank is not liable to be compensated to the customers, and there is the protection against to the bank. When can the bank refuse to make a payment? The statutory duty of the banker honor his customer's check under the certain circumstances is the follow. The countermanding payment by the customer give the special instruction, that time the bank can stop the payment of check or the issue the payment. The death of the customer, that time bank can refuse the demand of the payment demand. Insolvency of the customer become insolvent, and in any doubt about the customers, insanity of the customers, mean the mental disability of the customers, garnishee order, somebody take from the court about his account balance, that time the bank can refuse the demand of the payment. Notice of the assignment, the defective title of the party, there is the defective title of the party, not certain person is the mention and any defect in the check. Breach of trust, the end of the contract between the trust and the customer, and the end of the contract between banker and the customer, that time the bank refuse the make payment and protect himself. So these are the points we discuss in this lecture. Summary of this lecture, what we learned: the Negotiable Instrument Act 1881 provides the necessary statutory protection to bank for the doing his duties and using his rights. Section 85 of Negotiable Instrument Act offer the statutory protection to the banker in the case of order check, the cross check, the bearer check, that provide the protection to the banker against the fraud endorsement on the order check in behalf of the payee. Section 16 also provides the protection in respect of cases of forgery subsequent endorsement. The fraud endorsement, that time the law is also protect to the paying banker. So these are the points we discuss in this lecture. You can use the Nirali publication and Success publication book for this point and your further study. The assignment question for you: the write a short note on statutory protection to paying banker. This will be short note on ask this point, or sometime the 10 marks question will be asked on this point. What are the statutory protection available to paying banker under the Negotiable Instrument Act? So thank you to watching this video, and the next lecture we will be see the next point is the fraud check, and the last lecture after that is the reasons of returning check.